All right, you know what it is. This one's about Lieutenant Blanchard, man. I spoke about him from the riot back in 1995, what they call the Crack Lord Riot. This one's about Lieutenant Blanchard, man. But pay attention to this special announcement first, man. All right, so y'all understand. I want to thank everybody. Let's go. Special announcement, man. This is what my Cash App look like. It must have that green checkered box to the right of my name. No picture of me, none of that. This is exactly what my Cash App look like once you put in unique Mecca Hall and you get ready to send it. It must have that green checkered box. Let's get this thing going. All right? You know what it is. Unique Mecca Audio, man. We're in the house. They've been wanting to hear about Blanchard. I told you about Blanchard back in Lewisburg. So I'm going to run it back a little bit just to give you all an update who Blanchard is and how he play in. Blanchard is a big, black, grizzly, Panamanian. The dude blacker than me. But he Panamanian, speak fluent Spanish. And at this time, we talk about 1994 going into 1995 and earlier and mid 95. Now, 1994, when I get to Lewisburg, they ain't got no black police there working, period. Let's get that straight. Lieutenant. Matter of fact, I don't remember a black policeman working there. This all white boys. Yeah, I said white boys. You know what I mean? Because these is federal fake-ass correction officers. So let's just keep this right. You know what I mean? I'm in my zone right now. Now, a bunch of white boys is in charge of a bunch of white Italians is the way it normally was in Lewisburg, because in the feds, they was only locking up, white collar crime and, mafia figures and things like that was going to Lewisburg. But then when they signed in the mandatory minimum, they started bringing in a whole bunch of us blacks. Remember, the back of your hand, us blacks. That's how we do it. So we talking, like I said, somebody asks, who happened? Who got in it? You might say, black dude got into it with white dude because the palm was a little lighter. All right, so y'all don't got your lessons. All right, that's your free lesson. Now, we sitting there, no black police whatsoever. We in a white neighborhood. We up in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. When we was driving in, they had the Omnish car coming in. You know what I mean? The Omnish buggies. You know what I mean? Those are old buggies from like the old 1800s is what they still riding on the street. Now imagine coming from New York City and seeing a buggy, you know what I mean? With, a dude with a dress shirt, pair of suspenders, a pair of black boots, and got a woman next to him with a little bonnet, and she might look like she's 14 years old, but that's his lover. That's how it was out there when we first hit that joint. So when we got there, they had no black people, police out there, whatever. They definitely didn't have not one black lieutenant at Lewisburg. At that time when I was there, when I first got there, the white dudes, you know what I mean? Now I'm saying the white dudes because now I'm talking about the white inmates. When I say, the white boys, we going to call them the police. You know what I mean? Because those were just the racist, renegade white boys. You know what I mean? But the white dudes, you know what I mean? The men, the white men that was there, they had the, those racist, white boy police in their pocket. They was the ones bringing in the heroin, and the white boys had the compound. Yes, the white boys had the compound. Picture that, a compound where the white boys got the drugs. Well, that was Lewisburg back in 1994, into 95. So now, they bringing in all the drugs, the white boys running stuff, and the white boys ain't no joke, man. The white dudes ain't no joke. The white inmates, they put their work in. Let's get that straight, because they done clashed and had a big joint with the DC car. I'm going to bring one of the main characters on so that they could tell you about, what happened with Lewisburg, with the Aryan Brotherhood and the DC car. You know, that's the one with Cadillac. You know what I mean? I know y'all probably heard about it on the internet, but I'm gonna bring one of the men up here that was in it so they could tell you firsthand. You know, so we don't do no second hand. It ain't no faking, because over here we keep it 100. Gunshots. Gunshots for keeping it 100. Gunshots for keeping it 100. All right? Now, for the trolls, I got to get a troll something. Got to get a troll something. That's for you troll ass niggas. Get the hell out of here. Come on, get out of here. Go find somewhere else. This that real shit on YouTube. But now, they ain't got no black police working in there. But now they locking up the blacks a mile a minute. And they bringing in all these kingpins. I'm talking about, you know, we up in there. I wound up in, Boy George was up in there. Miles was up in there. You know, Cole was up in there. You know, Prime was up in there from Brooklyn. You understand? Doo-Wop from Harlem. Yeah, y'all saw the Doo-Wop documentary. Go cop that. Doo-Wop was up there. You know what I mean? You know, we had Freddie Myers up in there. We had Guy Fisher up in there. Not Guy Fisher, my bag. Fat Stevie up in there. You know what I mean? That was Lewisburg back then. Big Harry O up in there. We had we had that Big C. We had Camacho. We had Rayful Edmonds. We had Nut. You understand? You know, we had all. I mean, you know, this before Rayful Flip. So let me just say that. But you know, at that time he was a man. That's why he was allowed to walk on the compound, right? So now they bringing in all these blacks in there, and we ain't got no black police. But the blacks they bringing in. You know, the ones that was there before, the Freddie Myers and Fat Stevie and, you know, stuff like that, they, let me see how to put it, they was older, so their spirit and their soul was calmer. But when they started bringing, that was the heroin era. When they started bringing in the crack era, I'm talking about my homies from all over the country. You understand what I'm saying? Big shout out to my homies from all over the country. All right, calm down, relax. Gunshots, you know what I mean, to my homies. There's positive gunshots too, man. That's like, you know, when we in the club back in the day in Jamaica, or even here up in America, and the Jamaicans in the club, and the music start getting good, nigga pull out his joint and start shooting in the air. You know what I mean? Just start shooting in the air. You know what I mean? I mean, that's a sign of celebration. You know what I'm saying? So now, we up in the joint, they got all of these, you know, gangsters in there, but they elder gangsters, now they bringing us young warriors. You know what I mean? So now when we come up in there, we not going for nothing. We not going for the police calling us boy and, you know what I mean, and acting like it's just another figure of speech. You know what I mean? We not going for nothing. But anyway, so we wound up getting into the Crack Lord joint. So right before the crack thing broke out, when Janet Reno said lock down all the jails, could you imagine? From Washington, D.C., they told them lock down all the federal jails in America. This is what happened in October 1995. They said lock down all the jails in America, so they put everybody in their cell, and then they're going to try and bring us back out to let us go eat and function back into running the prison the way it was running. Bad move, Janet Reno. You know it, history know it, it's down. That's what caused the so-called Crack Lord Riot. So when we locked in, and we come out, they have their little meetings, and then they realize, damn, we ain't got no nigga police or nigga lieutenant here. So we got to go get a face for the niggas. You know what I mean? So that they can talk to these niggas. Yeah, and I'm saying niggas, because that's how them crackers was talking about us. You know what I mean? We're saying them niggas. We got to find somebody that communicate with the niggas, because we're losing control. You know what I mean? It's a whole different breed than the heroin era niggas that we got. So we going to have to figure out how to deal with these crack era niggas. So they went and they got this dude they thought was a super cop, which was Blanchard. Blanchard was big, man. Picture 2 times the size of Mike Tyson, but about 5'10". You know what I mean? He wasn't that big, tall, but he was huge. You know what I mean? And he was jet black, and he spoke fluent Spanish. So now they bringing in the Latin Kings. Like I said, you know, they got Boy George and all the Spanish, you know, dudes that got from selling heroin. They got caught up in the crack web, and you know, so it's a whole breed of, you know, straight gangsters. Big shout out to the gangsters. I got to get them a gunshot. Got to get the gangsters a gunshot. They deserve that gunshot. Now, so they got all of us up in there. They don't know how to communicate with us. So they call back to MDC Brooklyn, and they get this big black pork chop looking dude named Blanchard, and they bring him there, and they make him a lieutenant. So now he's a lieutenant. We running wild up in the joint. Like I said, me and my little man from Ohio, Mike Wagner, because Mike was about 18 at the time. Good soldier, good soldier. Mike was about 18 at the time. So he ran with me. He kept it 100. We did what we had to do. So Mike get into it, like I said. Well, he come out the kitchen. They had some chicken after the lockdown. Because I spoke about this. I'm going to speed this up. This is my unique flow, like I'm on the block talking to the homies. You know what I mean? They was locked down, so they opened up. They let us go to the kitchen, let us go get some chicken. So they had these little pheasants, a whole chicken bird. Anytime they lock down, the first thing they do is they give us chicken. They bring fried chicken. They know everybody likes fried chicken, not just niggas, white niggas too. Black niggas and white niggas, all the inmates love fried chicken. So they know whenever they got fried chicken, everybody come out. So nobody was going out to eat because we didn't want to go get all that hot dog, hamburger, and all that other crap because we was on a strike because they done locked the jail down. We wasn't having it. So now instead of just getting a little chicken leg or a couple of chicken wings, what they did was get us a whole pheasant. So everybody got a whole pheasant. A whole pheasant is a miniature bird. So we go in there go get the pheasant, but they tell us that we got to eat it in there because they don't want us to take it back to the unit. Because we take it back to the unit, we're going to wind up saving it, and now we might not come back to the next meal, and they figure they can bribe us through our belly by letting us come down to the kitchen to get these pheasants, but you got to eat it in the kitchen. So now when it's time to leave, they patting everybody down and make sure nobody got no pheasant on them. So when they get up to my man Mike Wagner from Ohio, Mike Wagner jumps up and he bolts running. So when he go running, they close the gate and they call him in the side. And he's there. They said, give me a shakedown. So he put his hands up, give him a shakedown. As soon as they start giving him another shakedown, Mike Wagner from Ohio takes off. Bang! And he tearing down the block again. So he makes it all the way down to our block, and we running behind him. Police running behind him. They call the police. They coming out all over the units. You know what I mean? Trying to grab him. Mike like a football player, like a running back. He dodging the police. He make it back to the joint. But when he get in the joint, the police got the unit blocked off where he at. But by now, we behind him, and the homies done heard what was going on. So they stand in the front. Police stand in front. And it's a standoff in the front of the unit. You know what I mean? In the front of the stairway, where you got the stairway that go up, and you got the phones right here. Dude's on the phone. Only way to go in is go up the phone stairs or walk by the phone. You know what I mean? So now Big Mike, he gets stopped on the stairs because the police was coming from upstairs, so they called him. So he on the stairs and he got his hand in the jacket. They tell him take his hand out of his jacket. You know what I mean? Now it's all white boys in this jail that's running the jail as far as police, lieutenants, correction officers and everything. Ain't no niggas yet. So now they got us over there. So now, of course, we ready to tear their head off because we already know that we tired of these white boys. You know what I mean? Talking about the police. You know, not promoting it, just letting you know what it was, bringing you back to our era in time. So while we standing over there, now here comes, this big old black nigga come walking up there, and this is how we meet Blanchard. Blanchard walks over, and Blanchard goes, yo, how y'all doing? What's going on? So we said, nah, you know what I mean? White boys sitting here thinking they're going to take the homie to the hole. We not letting them take him. That's how we hold each other down. We not letting the police lock one of us up no more. You know what I mean? Within the jail. Bad enough you got us locked up in the jail, but to lock us up inside the jail, nah, you're not taking the homie. So they said, what happened? He said, yo, I just got here. Let me find out what's going on. So we sitting there, and he told Mike, he said, yo, just take your hand out your jacket. I got you. This is how, Blanchard came and handed it himself. So, we looked at Mike, we gave him the nod, you know what I mean? So Mike took his hand out of his jacket, he ain't have nothing. So everybody started laughing. They did all that chasing Mike around for nothing. They did all that because he thought he had a goddamn pheasant in his coat. All that for a pheasant. But he just ran because he wanted to get some wreck. You know what I mean? So he ran out to the unit. So now the lieutenant's sitting there, and the lieutenant screams on the police because the police wanted to lock him up anyway. So Blanchard says, nah, Blanchard's a lieutenant, the black Panamanian lieutenant, speaks fluent Spanish so that he'll be able to talk to the Puerto Ricans, the Dominicans, and the blacks. There wasn't a lot of Mexicans there, but they had the Mexican, the Texas Emmy was there. So, but Blanchard spoke Spanish, so they really brought him to deal with the New York Spanish people and the East Coast Spanish people and the New York East Coast blacks. So Blanchard screamed on the police, said, nah, y'all ain't locking him up. He ain't have nothing, leave him alone, blah, 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 blah. So we won that battle. We stopped them from taking a little homie. So we cheering and all that. We say, oh, man, that new black lieutenant, cool. Now the compound is going to be different. We got a nigga on the compound. This is what we thinking. We got a nigga on the compound, So everything good. So Blanchard tells the police, all right, fall back. So now we go in the unit. While we in the unit, we hear outside the window over there in our block, hut, one, hut. We look out the window. We see all these big ass white boys with the, with the Ninja Turtle outfits on, like they a baseball catcher with the whole kneecap shell covering, thigh covering, the chest covering. They got the shield, they got the batons, they got the big, tear gas guns, and they outside my window. Where my dog, man, because of course, I'm in the unit with the wild young ones, man. I'm just keeping it 100. But that's how they did this back then. They put all the wild niggas in one block, and one unit manager felt he knew how to deal with his containers to give us the little bit we need without giving us too much, but still giving us more than they give the other inmates to keep us calm. And, that was his joint. His name was Baggett. You know what I mean? His name was Baggett. Baggett was the unit manager. Straight. I can't say that he was a he cipher monkey cipher, but a unit manager. If y'all want to know the story about the he cipher monkey cipher, unit manager who was having sex with another he cipher monkey cipher, inmate, a black inmate at that was tearing his he cipher monkey cipher back out. You know what I mean? This is the type of crap that I wound up in from selling 255 kilos of crack cocaine in America. But, it was just funny to me, but I see this, he cipher, monkey cipher with this big unit manager, he cipher, monkey cipher, because the he cipher, monkey cipher they dealing with a big old black dude looked like Predator with dreadlocks, and he used to get his sweatpants made so tight they were supposed to be like spandex, and, they was just ridiculous. But if you want to know about that situation with the he cipher, monkey cipher unit manager, and, the black dude that was digging his back out, you know what I mean? Put it in the comments, man. But, hey, yo, go over to... Now, let me give my announcement, man, because I think I earned a cash app. This joint is flyer. All right? Special announcement, man. This is what my cash app look like. It must have that green checkered box to the right of my name. No picture of me. None of that. This is exactly what my cash app look like. Once you put in unique Mecca Hall and you get ready to send it, it must have that green checkered box. Let's get this thing going. All right? Yeah, now, so, that's where that. Remember the little greenhouse, my cash app back working. Make sure you see the little greenhouse on the right. Don't worry about it. Because dude made an account to look exactly like mine's. But he couldn't put the greenhouse and the green thing up there yet because this is a little creative nigga and crack or whatever he is. But, God looks out for me so well, right? That I know he's going to put me along his path because we already tracking his IP number. So I'm letting you know, my brother, we on you, man. Because, I ain't never had a nigga take nothing from me. I'm definitely not going to have a nigga come up here on social media, Cash App, and take nothing. So we will find you. But anyway, let me get back to the story. So we in the joint, right? We in the joint and they got it. Sorry for kissing my teeth. I'm just in my zone right now. I Jamaican thing. If you're Jamaican, we kiss our teeth when we not look right and we are think and then think that. All right. So we in the joint and Blanchard come over there and we see all these big white boys outside there. They making all this noise. So now we got to get prepared. We like, yo, they trying to intimidate us, dog. You know what I mean? So we got to be prepared. That's when we told them, that's when we went and got the big garbage pan, filled it up with cold water, got the towels, the sheets, and all that ready for the ride. I'm not going to get into that right now because it's about Blanchard, but that's how it played out. Bottom line is we wound up going to war with these big white boys. They come roll up on us, like 1 o'clock in the morning, shooting tear gas in the unit, talk about they want to remove me from the unit. You know what I mean? And, a couple more of the homies, and we didn't do nothing. So we wasn't going for it. And the rest of the unit wasn't letting them take us out. Because that's the way we hold each other down back then. You know what I mean? So they come and they shoot the tear gas in, broke my man jaw with the tear gas and all that, beat me up, broke my ribs up, But the thing is, when they came and, they dragged me downstairs, they knocked out my 4 front teeth, beat me with an axe handle, swung my nuts up this big, and they left me down in the basement for 18 hours. For 18 hours, they kept coming down there every 30 minutes, acting like they checking on us. And whoever was still breathing, they'll bust you in the head with the billy club to try and knock you out. Once they knock you out, then they say, okay, take him upstairs to medical. But instead of medical, they just took us to another cell, threw us in the cell till we woke up. You wake up, you in a cell that holds 2 men with 10 men in it. This is how they had me living in October 1995, man. And I just got locked up in December 93. So I'm not even down a year and a half yet. You know what I mean? I'm not even in Lewisburg. I'm in Lewisburg exactly a year. You know what I mean? Because I got to Lewisburg October 17th, 1994, and this is October 25th, 1995. So I'm there exactly a year. And here they go, they got me down there, beat me up with handcuffs and shackles. So when they come down there, we even had the chaplain. The chaplain used to come down there and say, "Oh, you all right?" And he got a little Bible in his hand and he's saying, "Praise God, and I'm going to say a prayer for you." He asks if you all right, and you say, "No, the cuffs are tight." And he go over there and he rub your wrists all gently, and then he just grab you by those little flexi cuffs and pull them up to make them tighten up even tighter. And now you ain't got no circulation. Like I said, I still got the marks on my wrists. You know what I mean? I still got the marks on my wrist, the black marks. You know what I mean? That's what all these dark marks is. This is handcuffs. All this is handcuff marks from back then. So you understand, all that is handcuffed. Look at that. You see this? All that is handcuffs marked from when they had to join me so damn tight. So you know when I tell my stories, my shit official. You fake ass trolls that can't even phantom this, just go to another channel peacefully. That's all I'm asking. Because if not, let's go. Gunshots. Gunshots, you know, to you fake ass trolls. Get off the channel. Let the men that's trying to get their lives together sit back and enjoy the story and know that there ain't nothing nice in there. Because that's all this is, to let you know the crap that I went through, not to brag about it, but to let you know I don't want to go back through it, and I'm trying to prevent you from going through it. So I'm letting you know how these white boys treat you in their goddamn federal prison, and your families don't know nothing about it. They don't believe that they'll treat them like that. So if you even call home and tell them, they're going to tell you that you lying. The government would never treat you like that. Not in prison. You're safe in prison. That's what your family telling you. You know what I mean? I seen clowns call home and tell their moms and their girls they doing this and that. And I know that don't mean nothing, because they listen to the phone call, then they come bust you in the head, lock you up. All right? Go. I'm sweating over here. I got to turn the AC on. It's 90 degrees outside today, but I got the little AC on down here. So now, we in the joint, they come in, and here comes this dude, Blanchard, he walking through, but this is the one that told us everything gonna be all right, 8 o'clock that night when they ran up in there. But before they even got us out the basement, another situation happened with Blanchard. They come in there to count. When they come in there to count, my man Mike Wag, like I said, he a big old youngin', you know what I mean? So, you know, he stand up in the doorway, and he's standing in the doorway like this, and the police had to go past the doorway to look in to count the inmates in their beds in the room, and Mike stand up in the doorway like this. So, you know, the police couldn't get by, but then the police is like, nah, they not having that, you know? So the police come in, they put they forearm on his chest, and they push him out the way like, 1, 2, 3, 4 to count the people. So, you know, my man Mike ain't nothing soft, you know, out of Ohio. You know how Ohio niggas go. Big shout out to Ohio. Big shout out to Ohio. You know? So when Mike like this and they put their arm and pushed it, Mike pushed the police back, boom! And the police had the riot gear on and all that, but he ain't have nothing on his back, so he hit his back in between the door frame and like, ah! So when he did that, the other police tried to rush Mike, we rushed them, and next thing you know, we all up in there fighting, and you know, they hit the deuces, and when they come running down there, there's so many police in the hallway, they can't get to us, we can't get to them, but we holding them off, they holding us off, and here come Blanchard walking between, and Blanchard say, "What's going on?" So we tell them what's happening, and the police lied and said that's not what happened. But luckily they was videotaping it. So when they went to videotape that big ass camcorder, Blanchard said, "Give me that camcorder." He take the camcorder and he hit the rewind and he play it back, and he see the police put their hands on Mike. So he's screaming on the police, "Get your ass out of here. Don't you ever put your hands on none of these inmates. Don't you ever touch these men. I don't know what you were doing before I got here. You're not gonna do this now. So get this right. Get up out of here." You know what I mean? So he throw all of them out, and we all start clapping, and we rooting for old Blanchard. So that's how, you know, Blanchard held us down when Mike ran out the hallway, then again when Mike pushed the police when they put their hands on him. So we look at it like we got somebody on our side. We got an ally. Now we got a black, you know, lieutenant that got a little pool. But then now after they beat us up, bust in the head, leave us downstairs, and baby, for that whole 18-hour, Blanchard kept coming downstairs, and he's seeing what's happening, but he can't do nothing because there's only one of him, and it's, you know, 100 other police beating us up. So he ain't do nothing to help us. You know what I mean? So now, they had us down there for 18 hours, and like I said, my man Brown Bay saved my life. You know what I mean? Big shout out to Brown Bay from D.C. You know what I mean? All right, calm down. Big Brown Bay from D.C. saved my life. You understand what I'm saying? When Big Brown Bay came in there from D.C., he brought the police down there to show them where we was at, because they was lying when Washington came over there to find out how did the system break down for us to fight the police like we did. You know what I mean? So when they come down there and find out we was down there. This was 18 hours later. So a local prison project called the Lewisburg Prison Project, they was monitoring what was going on. So they contacted a whole bunch of us, and my name kept coming up, and my man Mike Wagner, and Larry Harris L, Big Mo, Orlando. I forgot his real name, but he was from Orlando, Florida. Because like I said, we deal with men. We don't care where you from. We do from Orlando, that was there. And then, so they got all of us in this joint. So they talking about setting us up to 80X Supermax. But the Lewisburg Prison Project, they came in, they contacted us, and they filed what they call a class action lawsuit for excessive force against the BOP because they did all this while we was handcuffed and shackled. So now, I'm in 80X, so they filed all this. I don't know what the hell going on. I'm in 80X doing my time, you know what I mean? So after I do my time and I come out, like 5 years later, I come out and they send me to Allenwood. And when we get to Allenwood, come to find out that we went in the lawsuit. How the hell we went against the government? The judge told them to release the tapes. See, when they took me out of there, right? Let me tell you how it was. When they take me out of there, I'm flexi cuffed and shackled, and they taking me out. And you know me, I'm like on some, remember that TV show Cops? So I'm handcuffed. They bring me out. I'm like, yo, F you, mother, you know what they are. Woo, 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 woo. And I'm parking under me. You see the way you can see the teeth in my mouth? You know what I mean? Now you can see the teeth in my mouth as I'm talking. You know what I mean? Now, that was on the videotape. So the lawyer looked at it, and then next thing you know, I'm handcuffed when this is happening. So they take me down the basement, beat me up for 18 hours, took an axe handle, helped me over, put my head straight down, put their boots on the side of my head, hit my head down, and took an axe handle and knocked out my 4 front teeth because I had gold and diamonds in it, and they didn't respect niggas with gold and diamonds. They said we was them New York boys or the Miami boys. You know what I mean? So they knocked the joints out, bang. So then now, they got a picture of me with my teeth knocked out, my jaw swole up, my ribs broken, but I walked out of there. Now I can't even walk. So the judge said, how did he get from walking out with handcuffs to being broken up when he's in handcuffs? At what point did he get out the handcuffs for you to beat him that severely? And they said, no, he never got out the handcuffs. Then how did he get beat down like that? If you had him that way. And they said, no, we had to subdue him. So the judge said, he was already subdued. You had him in flexi cuffs on his feet and his ankles. So what could he do? So now they see they losing. So the judge said, look, I'm telling you now, y'all got to settle with these inmates because, there's nothing that you could say to convince me because they came out of there walking and then now they're broken up. Once you this was exact words. I was trying to think of it. This is how the judge broke it down. You can look at the law case. This is how the judge broke it down. The judge broke it down and said that we're the scum of the earth. He said I was the scum of the earth. I was the worst that society had to offer, and that's why I was in federal prison doing life plus 20. That's why I was in federal prison doing life plus 20 because I was the scum of the society, and he expect nothing but scum behavior from me. This is how the judge talking to me. You know what I mean? After the last judge and prosecutor told me my life was a waste and I crammed a lifetime of crime in 23 years. Here it is, a year later, another judge sitting here sending me a letter that a man reading to me talking about I was scum of the earth and that they expected me to be scum while I was in there. But then he flipped it and said, but you guys are federal officers. Once you put the handcuffs on them, y'all should have went back to being professional and gave them medical treatment, not break them up. So if y'all don't settle it, I'm going to rule real substantially for these, men. So then the judge said, matter of fact, give me the rest of the videotapes. Because if I see them come out with their teeth and walking and now they broken up with no teeth, I want to see the rest of the videotapes. So the BOP didn't want to turn over videotapes, so now they want to make a deal. So I don't know nothing about this. I'm just doing my time at 80X. I ain't got nothing to do with this court shit. You know what I mean? They ain't never helped me do shit. So now I get to Allenwood, and when I get to Allenwood, Blanchard is there. This how I run into Blanchard, But remember, like I said, they brought him from being an officer, in MDC Brooklyn to being a lieutenant in Lewisburg. I do 5 years, 4.5, 5 years up in 80X Supermax in Colorado in the Rockies. You know what I mean? And I come back down and now I'm in Allenwood, 30 minutes from Lewisburg where I just terrorized the police and they terrorized me and broke my joint up. You know what I mean? Like I said, We both took an L, but we both won because I fought, the government fought, we all fought. That's what the fight is about, just fighting back, be participating. Now, I'm sweating, but I'm on the roll. Gunshots, all right? So now, Blanchard is there. I see Blanchard, and the homies are telling me, yo, remember that Lieutenant Blanchard, he here. But Blanchard, being that he was the black one, and, you know, all he did was walk down and he witnessed everything that was going on, the lawyers put his name on the lawsuit, but he didn't participate in the beat numbers. But bottom line is he's still a government worker, and we still beefing with the government, so therefore he has to still be punished. And Blanchard is from New York, he Panamanian, so he knows the rules of the game. And that's what I push, the rules and principles of the game. Even the captain, that was the lieutenant at the time, when his comrades punished us, knew we had to punish him when we get our hands on him. So as soon as I get there, they let me on the compound, but before I get a chance to see him, they call me up to the lieutenant office, and I get up to the lieutenant office, they put me in the cage, and Blanchard come to the cage, and he said, look, man, you know, I ain't had nothing to do with what them white boys did. I couldn't stop them white boys. It was too much of them. The system was already broken. That's why they brought me there to fix it. I tried to help y'all the best I could, but when y'all barricaded the door, you know, and they started shooting the tear gas, and, you know, they just came in and all that hoopla. And Blanchard even said, I know the police started, because the police came, opened the door, and just shot tear gas in the unit. They didn't even say, come out. They didn't say nothing. They just opened the door, 1 o'clock in the morning, started shooting tear gas. Imagine you in there asleep, laying down, watching TV or whatever, and all of a sudden you hear the door opening and you hear boom, boom, and tear gas everywhere. You know what I mean? Now you got to jump up. What are you going to do but defend yourself? You know what I mean? So Blanchard explaining that, man, y'all ain't do nothing wrong, but I want you to know I wasn't a part of that. You know, he said, I became a captain since then, so I'm running the jail. Whatever you need, I can get you. But all I need you to do is free me from the lawsuit. You know what I mean? I said, first of all, I don't talk to the government. I don't talk to the court. I don't talk to nobody. You know what I mean? He said, well, that's good enough for me. Just don't give them no statement that I was involved, because I'm telling them I wasn't involved. You know what I mean? So he telling me, just don't give him no statement. I said, dude, I don't give statements anyway. You know what I mean? If I'm going to punish you, I'm going to punish you when I give it, you know, you release me from behind this door, or you can come up in here and punish me or whatever. You know, he said, well, I know you're a man of your word because you're from New York, you're from the street, so you already know what time it is. I'm giving you my word that I didn't touch none of your comrades. You know, I had nothing to do with it. They sent me there to try and help y'all. You know what I mean? You know, to keep some order in there to communicate with y'all, but it was already too far gone and it blew up. But I'm letting you know, whatever you need while you here in Allenwood, I got you. This is what Blanchard told me. He said, whatever you need while you here in Allenwood, I got you. You know what I mean? I said, what you mean? He said anything. He said, a matter of fact, you know, and he said, hold on. He goes around the corner, he come back, and he bring me about 100 flat books of standard. At that time, there was like $5.25 a book or $4.80 a book. You know what I mean? So he bring me about 100 of these. You understand what I'm saying? And he said, here. You know, he said, anything you need, I got you. You know what I mean? He said, but whatever you do, don't jump on the police here, because I'm the captain. I'm in charge of their security now. And I'm telling you, if you got a problem with the police, if any of your homies got a problem with the police, I'm in charge now. I wasn't in charge in Lewisburg. I was just a lieutenant, and the captain had the jail. But now I got this jail. So if you get in any problems, your homies get any problems, you come to me. You understand what I'm saying? So now I go on a visit, and when I go on a visit, they give me a little, you know, like a regular prison suit, you know, a little shirt with a V-neck, like what the doctors wear, you know, the scrubs. They give me a scrubs outfit to go out there, and then they give me some female jelly beans, like some flip-flops. You know, maybe that's why I hate flip-flops and fake niggas that wear flip-flops. They gave me flip-flops to wear out there to go see my wife and kids, to go see my family. They gave me flip-flops, man. When you know, remember them joints growing up? Y'all a little young, but the older people don't. They gave me some jelly beans with the open toes, you know? And I'm like, yo, I'm not wearing that shit out there. Like, you gotta wear them out there. I'm like, oh, man, you know what I mean? I wanted to see my family, so yeah, I succumbed. I wore the flip-flops out there. You know, I keep it 100. I wore the flip-flops out there, right? So I go out there, and my kids was like 8, 9 years old, saying, look, I said, Daddy, what you wearing? And I'm heated now. Now I'm getting ready to punish this nigga Blanchard. You know, this is what I'm thinking. You know, my son laughing at me for wearing these old fake female jelly beans out there, and I'm supposed to be old gangster, you know, in the federal prison. So, you know, after the visit, we go back, because that was over the weekend. That Monday, I storm right up there to main line, and I tell Blanchard, I said, Joe Blanchard, check, man. They had me wear some damn flip-flops in the visit around my kids, man. You know what I mean? And he said, nah, everybody got to wear them. I said, nah, I refuse to wear them. And I'm telling you now, I'm not wearing them, and my homies ain't going to wear them. We're going to do a style. He said, hold on. He said, hold on. We don't need you to get your homies involved in this. You know what I mean? Your homies ain't got no issues. You know what I mean? Because they ain't bring it to me. You bring it to me. You know, go to medical. He said, bring me a cop out. I'm going to sign the cop out. And whenever you go to visit, you take this cop out that I'm approving it for you to wear your personal sneakers to visit. So he he signed a piece of paper that when I go up there, I get to wear my Nikes and, you know, the little Jordans was out. I'm wearing my Jordans and on the visit when all the other men is wearing their flip-flops. So, you know, I felt cool and above water, you know. And my dreads was just coming in at the time, you know. So I just felt like I was fire. So I rolled out there with my Jordans and all that with this little pass that he signed. But then it was this asshole police, you know, y'all was in Allenwood, you know Mummy. Mummy's a straight piece of crap. Gunshots to Mummy. Now, Mummy was so mad that the captain allowed me to wear my sneakers because he get a kick out of belittling us in front of our family wearing these jellies and these fake hospital gowns, you know? But, you know, I went out there, I'm fly as hell, so Mummy couldn't stand me. So he used to put me right in the front, you know, where, you know, he could hear everything I say type crap. He could look right in my face. I had no privacy, but this was his way of punishing me. You know what I mean? So I sit there and I, you know, go back and I talk to the captain again. I talk to Blanchard. I said, yo, what's up? People got me the front because he vexed I'm wearing these things. He said, nah, he wouldn't do that. See what happened when you go back on a visit next week. Next week I go on a visit, he do it again. I go back and say, yo, Mummy, that's it. I'm getting ready to put the knife in him. I mean, Blanchard. I said, man, I'm getting ready to put the knife in him because he trying me. He's like, no. Stop. Let me talk to him. Let me talk to him. I said, yo, I don't do no whole bunch of, he said, that's why I'm going to do the talking. So Blanchard went and hollered at, you know, Mummy. And the next time I go on a visit, I come out there, and can you believe Mummy said to me, Mr. Hall, where would you like to sit? I'm in the prison. Blanchard done screened on us so bad and holding me down. He said, where would you like to sit? I said, over there in the corner by the kids' room in the picture booth, you know what I mean? So that, you know, my kids could just go in the picture in the kids' room and I could keep an eye on them. And I could watch TV from sitting here in the thing. So he puts me over there, I got a good visit. So everything is good. So now, old Blanchard, let me speed this up now. So now, old Blanchard looking out, you know, gave me stands, made sure I wore my sneakers out there, make sure I get to pick where I want to sit in the visit. So he doing what he's supposed to do. He honoring his word. So now, Blanchard come back now and Blanchard got a female police, bad little young white girl, look really good. You know, she's not even correctional. She was like working in psychology. So Blanchard bring the psychology chick to me and he said, yeah, how you doing? This the inmate you wanted to meet. Because she looked at my file and said, oh, I got to meet this nigga. I can't believe it. You know, his life was like it was. You know what I mean? And he's still alive and he carried on all in Lewisburg from the street. So when I meet and I'm talking to him, Blanchard's standing behind her and he's winking at me. You know what I mean? So she's like, so how was Blanchard over at Lewisburg? So he winking at me and he's like, you know, he gave me the sign like, give me some props. So I said, nah, Blanchard was official. Blanchard held us down just like he hold me down here, da. So he used to bring all the females to me, you know, to give them that, you know, that stamp of approval with the different female that was in the staff. Like, yeah, this one big old education chick that he liked me, you know what I mean? And come to find out, Blanchard was tearing off all these goddamn police. All these white female police, because it was all white, go in White Town. But Blanchard, big old black nigga from New York, he had a jungle fever. Blanchard went and got all of these white female police to come talk to me for me to tell them how official he was in Lewisburg. And that gave them props to get them moist, you know what I mean, where he started digging their back out, you know. Now, all he doing is screwing and eating bacon. He married, so his wife went and told the kitchen staff, don't allow him to eat no bacon because it's gonna clog his arteries. The doctor said he got to cut back on it, so they gave the prison cook area, you know, a diet for him. But he's screwing everything that move. He's screwing all the white females. So now he starts screwing the white AW. So now when he's screwing the white AW, now the AW's husband, you know, the white AW's husband get mad, and she goes out there and did she hold up, man, let me get this right. Now he goes and confront Blanchard in the parking lot, and Blanchard whoops him in the parking lot. None of them like him because he's screwing all their wives. And not only that, he's a bully and an old Panamanian can fight. So he whoops the police out of the parking lot. So the word get back into jail what happened. You know what I mean? Hold up, man. Let me give you this again so you understand. Special announcement, man. This is what my Cash App look like. It must have that green checkered box to the right of my name. No picture of me. None of that. This is exactly what my Cash App look like. Once you put in unique Mecca Hall and you get ready to send it, it must have that green checkered box. Let's get this thing going. All right? Now, so, you know, he whooping all the police doing what he got to do, right? So, now, only way they could stop old Blanchard, you know what I mean? Because they couldn't step to him physically. Oh, yeah, big shout out to Cordero Cameron for the $50 Cash App, Marcellus Boyd, Tawana Cook, you know what I mean? Mitchell James, you know what I mean? We the Cash App back working. John Hubert, make sure it got the green thing you just saw the announcement. You know what I mean? James Phillips, you know what I mean? We got the loyal men supporting Sean P, you know what I mean? Jeremy Miller, you know, and Dennis Cole. Now, they know his diet. So the only way to stop him, because they couldn't whoop him, was they had the inmate that was in charge of the OM feed this man nothing but bacon. You know, back in the day, bacon was, you know, the pork of choice for the projects. And he's old, big old project nigga made it into the BOP and worked his way up to be the captain. So they fed him nothing but bacon. Every day he stood at mainline eating a big inmate tray piled up with bacon. I mean, literally, no lie, about 50 to 100 pieces of bacon, and he's standing just eating this bacon while he's standing at mainline conducting his business. And this is every day for about 3-4 months, you know? So then, you know, another police confronts him, and he checks the police in the jail, and he says in front of everybody, because he was, you know, he from New York, so he cocky even though he a cop. He said, yo, yeah, I'm screwing your wife, I'm screwing all your wives. Y'all got these little peckers, can't satisfy them, so they want a big old Panamanian to come here, dig their back out. The darker the berry, the sweeter the juice, and I'm giving them a whole lot of this sweet juice. This is what he said in front of all the inmates to these white boys. You know what I mean? Now they all turn beet red. So we all start laughing, you know what I mean? And we cheering old Blanchard on, you know? So Blanchard ain't even paying attention because he liked the pork so goddamn. He kept eating the pork. And then one day, they said the flag is going up at half-staff. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell happened? The flag going up at half-staff. Come to find out, old Blanchard dropped dead, you know what I mean, from eating all that pork. He had a heart attack or whatever. It clogged his arteries. He done dropped dead. I mean, come on, man. You know, but let me tap out. That's how the story went with Blanchard. They wound up killing him by feeding him bacon. You know what I mean? They feed this big old greasy pork chop eating, bacon eating Panamanian cop a bunch of bacon every day for about 6 months until they clogged his arteries and killed him. You know what I mean? So let's get that right. I know this deserves a Cash App. Follow the rules, greenhouse. Go. Special announcement, man. This is what my Cash App look like. It must have that green checkered box to the right of my name. No picture of me. None of that. This is exactly what my Cash App look like. Once you put in unique Mecca Hall and you get ready to send it, it must have that green checkered box. Let's get this thing going. All right? Yeah, so that's how that played out, man. If y'all want to hear a certain story, pull up. Oh, man, I forgot to tell you. Please, go to my Spotify or and download the audio on Spotify is all I'm asking y'all to do. You know what I mean? They can't do a Cash App, don't want to do a Cash App. Just go to Spotify, you know, to the podcast or anyone that made the podcast thing, put in unique Mecca audio and download You know, any one of them videos I got up there, as many as you feel like doing that you have time for, and show some love so I get this monetization over there and get this thing pumping. All right, and I'm at Roku TV. If you're in the crib, you got the app on the phone, go to Roku TV, do what you got to do. Let me tap out because this is what it is. All right?
Cheers, cheers, crime.
Can of 26, he back on the strip, get it back in the mix. What mentions is gift. Stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Take a little gully posse and put it in home. We cut from the bottom, I came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you gon' get it. The Instagram page and then YouTube, you gon' visit. Then you consider yourself linked in. Sit front row and get juice from a kingpin. I went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. Did not pay attention with stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grands got along. A man that generated minutes on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca audio. Get it out like 2 G's in the night. Drop top, beaming so shiny. I let shorty go, she was wine. Treat her like my past, she behind. Spin a couple bands on the dapper can. You got that can, get green like Packers fan. No cap, it's a raw uptown. They hard uptown, the minute they bust down. Now we on the positive, you got a lot to give. Now you trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend it dead. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now we're waiting about selling drugs, buying cars, buying property to make the community yard. So we can give it back to the youth them, cause they truth them, and bless up to all the rural men.
Special announcement, man. This is what my Cash App look like. It must have that green checkered box to the right of my name. No picture of me, none of that. This is exactly what my Cash App look like. Once you put in Unique Mecca Hall and you get ready to send it, it must have that green checkered box. Let's get this thing going. All right?